Now, have you found the few recent seasons of F1 just not to be as entertaining as you thought it would be? Well, yeah, that is exactly what I was thinking as well. And you know what? It got my small little animal brain thinking, you know what? Why don't we take a thing or two from the Americans here, and why don't we change this into a multi-class race? Now, for those who probably think I'm just speaking gibberish here, and you're like, what the f is he talking about? Well, a multi-class race is 3 different categories of cars, all racing their own race, but on the racetrack at the same time. Now, for the avid motorsports fan, you guys will know exactly what I'm talking about in IMSA, where they have GT prototype, LMP2 cars, and GT3 cars all on the track at the same time. And these races can go on for a various amount of time. You can have 2-hour races, you can have 12-hour races, and of course you can have the big 24-hour race. So I thought, you know what? Let's jump into Assetto Corsa and let's see how it would fare if we do a multi-class Formula race. So we're on Brands Hatch here, and we've got 32 Formula cars lined up. We've got all of the cars from Race Sim Studio. We've got the Formula Hybrid 23, which is the F1 cars, RSS2, which is the F2 cars, RSS3, and RSS4, which is the F3 and the F4 cars. And we're just going to see what will happen if you let 32 cars on the same track at the same time. So here we go then. We're starting P32 all the way at the back of this field that you're seeing on screen here. And we've reverse gridded it. So we've got the F4 car starting at the front, F3, F2, and obviously the 1,000 horsepower beast F1 car starting right at the back. So let's jump into our car and let's get ready. 6 lights, build up the revs. Now away we go. Now I'd imagine it's going to be a very slow turn one because the F4 cars at the start of the pack create about 170 horsepower. Meanwhile, the F2 cars behind them create around, I think, 250, if not 300. And then the F3 cars, or excuse me, the F2 cars behind them. Now that's a lot of damage. So sorry. The F2 cars behind them create around 600, and then us at the back in the F1 create around 1,000 horsepower with the battery combined. And obviously you have big differences in aero, and of course there's tires as well. So it's going to be very interesting to see what the oh my god, look how slow we're going through these corners, 50 miles an hour. It's going to be very interesting to see what us I think 6 or 7 F1 cars at the back of this field, how many of us can survive and get through to the front of the grid, navigating our way through the slower F4, F3, and F2 classes. As you can see, turn 1 is just a bit of a feeler lap. Brands Hatch is a very, very narrow... Oh my god. Boys, what are we doing here? Oh, we've actually come to a stop. No, we've actually come to a stop. Somebody's reversing on track. Let's just all wait for them. And now he's going the wrong way. Now he's going... Okay. So I think we've just gained about 10 positions there by one car just driving the wrong way on a racetrack. Nice. Anyway, let's carry on. So we're in P21 now, and you can see in our rear view, somebody's getting... Charles, slow down, buddy. Where are you going? Somebody's getting really racy. Another one in the sand. F. But we're just kind of being held up by these slower class cars. And obviously Brands Hatch being really narrow, we can't really find a way around. Someone into the sand there. Well saved. Let's dive down the inside of all of those. Slow it down for the hairpin. I think Charles has followed me through. Up into P14 now. And I think now we're in the midst of the F2 and the F3 cars. The F4 cars, that's definitely an F4 car. The F4 cars are really going to be falling back in terms of pace now. Side by side, I think, which is an F2 car. But sorry, mate. I've got DRS and a battery to deal with. So I'll see you later. But we're going to be held up a lot on this uphill right-hander. And unfortunately, we've had to scrub a lot of speed off there, which has allowed the cars in the rear view to catch up quite a lot. Up into P12 now. We got Dale ahead of us, which I think I'm going to have to guess is an F2 car. Or possibly an F3. It's really hard to gauge. Oh, we've definitely got the speed difference on them. Oh, but he's absolutely blocked my line there. Thank you so much. So as you can see, when you're racing a multi-class race, you can't really just race on the racing line as you would do if it's just a single class race. You have to think of new ways that you can get around people, where you can make overtakes and how you can do it safely, because obviously the faster car has to make it in a safer manner, whereas the slower car can just drive on their line at a normal pace. But like here, we can dive down the inside, we can take a higher entry speed, and we've got more aero, so we can stick it down the inside. DRS open for the back straight. I think another F1 car is in our rear view there, following us through. 150 miles an hour through the uphill right-hander. Drop it down another gear here, about 140 miles an hour through that turn as well. And now we're going to get slowed down by the slower classes, so we're already lap 3 into this race. Big slowdown here because these slower classes, it's allowed... Oh my god, I can't say that name. Ted? Oh my god. Do you know what? I'll just call you T. T is a good name. It's allowed T to catch up quite a lot. We're up into P4 though. Down Paddock Hill Bend. Again, 140 miles an hour here. We got so much aero at our disposal. I think we might be the first car in our class. It looks like everyone ahead might be a slower class, but we'll find out. T is really looking for a move, getting aggressive behind us. We'll dip down the inside here on these slower classes. Open up the wing. Really see what this F1 car is made of. 170, 180, 190 miles an hour. Drop it down a gear. 160 miles an hour going through that turn here. Big send over the gravel there. 140 miles an hour or so through that turn. Is James in an F1 car? I think it looks to be, because he's already 6 seconds ahead of us. But I'm bringing a friend along with me. And also what you're going to find out is, obviously because we can lap so much faster than the slower class cars, we're probably going to catch them towards the end of this race. So we're going to see if James is going to get held up and allow us a chance to get back into a P1 fight. But T is really putting us under pressure here. Luckily, oh my absolute god, I have no idea what's happened there, but he's done a barrel roll. He's done a barrel roll. Someone get the med team to check on him quickly. Holy good god. But as I was saying, you can look at the track map and we're already catching P24 of the slower classes. So James, who's in P1, looks to be catching the back of the slower classes. Let's see if it slows him down in order for us to catch up to him and hopefully fight for a race win. But also it can work on the opposite hand as well. If we get the slower class cars, especially in this sector 3 where you need to take so much speed through these corners, it would jeopardize our push for a P1 as well. So let's see what will happen. Oh my, there's just cars multiplying here. After every lap there's just another car in the sand there on the last turn. Going into turn 1 here. Can we look down the inside? I've had to slow down quite a lot there. Usually we take it at 150, 140, but I slowed down to about 110 miles an hour there. Another car. It's just like a graveyard at the moment. A graveyard of multi-million pounds worth of damage. Thankfully, I'm not paying it though, so, you know, we can do this kind of stuff on Assetto Corsa. Open up the wing. James now 5 seconds ahead, but you can see on that track map, he is catching everyone slowly. But keep an eye on that relative. Let's see if we can catch him. But it looks like we're going to be getting some of these slower class cars in Sector 3. We got really lucky there. Caught them before the turn. Oh no, we've caught a pack here though. James has been held up big time though. As you can see on the relative now, he's only 2 seconds ahead of us. So just as I was saying, if you get traffic at the wrong time, and especially in that Sector 3, you can lose seconds. And seconds in a race especially feels like an entirety, feels like a lifetime. In a sport where you're determined by tenths and milliseconds anyway, seconds feels like an eternity. So that's James ahead of us now, about 3 seconds up the road. And I don't think we're going to be catching anyone on this straight unless we do something stupid like that. Big mistake from us. Big mistake. Really costing me a lot there. Now we're going to have to catch up to Charles. 5 seconds up the road. Actual skill issue. More cars here. F. I think these top 4 cars, I think we are all in the... Too much curb there. I think we are all in the faster F1 class cars. Because our speed really is shown on these straights. And I think Julius now has joined in the F1 class. And it looks like we're not going to be getting too much traffic. I think there's a lot of these slower class cars, I think, are all in the sand. I think they're all pretty much on the sidelines out of this race. Really bad hairpin there. We've gone deep, so Sasha's taken the position. Let's see if we can sit behind Sasha. We got Julius behind us as well, now lurking for our position. Take a lot of speed there. Open up the wing for the back straight. 170, 180 miles an hour, 190. Drop it down. 160 miles an hour through that turn. 140 through that one there. Catching up to Sasha in sector 3. We just can't get the exit that we need. Now this is where we need that traffic. We need Sasha to be held up by a slower class car, but I don't think we're going to get any. Lap 9 now. We've got 2 laps to make a move happen to see if we can get on the podium spot. But we're also under big threat behind from Julius now. He's trying to go around the outside. Gonna have to get a bit defensive here. Now us getting defensive has cost us a bit of time trying to catch up to Sasha. Big send into the fast uphill right-hander. We need big sends here in this sector. He's been slowed down by slower class traffic. He's been slowed down. It's great news for us. Round the outside. Thank you very much, James Pendry there. Kept the hope of a podium alive. Alright, last lap, and I think we're going to get some slower class cars here as well. It's a terrible turn 1 from me. It's a terrible turn 1. It's a terrible turn 1. I think that's the best we're going to get now after that big mistake. You can see how dirty the tyres are now. I think we're going to finish last in our class. I think there was only 5 F1 cars on the grid. A lot of the cars have already been in the box already. You can see on the track about there is a lot of cars that have retired from this session. There's only probably about maybe 20 cars on track right now. So you could probably summarize here. Is multi-class a good idea in Formula class? Probably no. The cars just don't work. Especially on tracks like this, it doesn't really work. You need very big, very wide tracks so you can allow the faster classes to make their moves, but on tracks like this it doesn't really work. And also I don't think it really works with these cars, as they're too fragile, they're too beautifully and delicately crafted that you just can't take any risks, whereas in IMSA and you have the GTPs and the LMP2s and even GT3s, they've got a lot of bodywork and a lot of panels which can kind of take and absorb the hits, so if you do have a bit of side-by-side action, you know, it doesn't jeopardize your race completely, whereas if you lose a front wing or something in one of these cars, then, you know, you're so far off the pace, especially how you need to take so much speed into some corners. So yeah, we gave it an attempt, but unfortunately it doesn't really work in Formula cars. But if you guys really enjoyed this video, I hope you did. Please don't forget to drop a like on it. Yeah, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button to get notified on videos that I drop as well. Thank you so much for watching. And unfortunately, as you guys can see, we finished last in our F1 class. But nonetheless, we had some fun. We thought it would create some carnage, and it definitely did, but it definitely isn't. isn't worth it for the amount of money that you'll probably spend repairing these cars. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you guys. Don't forget to hit that sub button. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care. Peace.